Hi everyone, welcome to Ninja Monkey. I'm Nathan, and on this live stream, which by the way it's a live stream, by the way, just in case you're watching this on the replay, I try to help you. I try to answer your Japan travel questions. We have a great community of people here also that are always willing to help, giving their own tips and unique insights. So it's definitely worth checking out the chat too. As always, just a quick reminder, and that is that if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe, thumbs up, as it will help the channel out quite a bit. Super chats, donations, etc. really is the lifeline of this channel. So anything like that, I highly, well, I want to say thank you in advance for anybody who does decide to donate. And if not, no problem, just thumbs up, and thank you so much for being here. As always, I'll start off by just keeping an eye on who's come to say hello. Lorba Gray is here already. Wow. Ooh. Common commenter. Lorba Gray. Awesome. Jim Ross. The Ninja Monkey symbol has been projected into the surface of the moon. Can you imagine? That would be pretty cool. Rallying all the Japanaholics to assemble. There's plenty of Japanaholics here, I think. For sure. 2-minute countdown is over. Awesome. We got Gold Coast here, and Bojo Pigeon. Frog Lady is also in the house. Hello, Froggy. How are you doing? Awesome. Gazumi also. The Monkey Crew is here, and yeah, awesome. Tommy Tran, everyone. Oh, Jim, thank you so much for the 5 Ninja Monkey gift memberships. Arigatou gozaimasu. Much appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. And already starting with banana fans, I haven't took a banana here. Because guess what? Oh, guess what? There's 6 bananas left. My trip. 6 bananas left before my trip. Crazy times ahead. Arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you so much, Froggy, for your support. David is here also. Hey, David, how are you doing? Sister Bliss, Alexander, awesome. Laurie, 2-week countdown. So 2 Tokyo bananas for you left. Then, today I think trains and roads may be full of people. Did not go back yesterday. Maybe I'll buy Tokyo bananas this trip. Let me know how it goes. I'd love to get some Tokyo banana reviews. I'd love to do like a little compilation of people trying Tokyo banana for the very first time. 74 days, 5.5 Tokyo bananas. Wait, how many Tokyo bananas is that? Diego, hi, how are you doing? And as always, if you do have a question, we're here to try to answer your questions. But in the meantime, I have something a little bit special, because I thought I brought something back from Japan, and I just opened it, and it's a bottle of sake, but it's yuzu sake. And I actually bought this bottle in a place called Hida Furikawa. I think it's called Hida Furikawa. And I highly suggest that you add Hida Furikawa to Furikawa, I think so, to your itinerary, because it's pretty darn cool. Next to Takayama, only maybe half an hour away from Takayama, some beautiful like streams, and with koi fish and some sake breweries. And I actually went there, tried some different sake, and I bought this beautiful bottle of yuzu sake, which I'm gonna start with for a change. And I actually have, smells refreshing, a little cup thingy. What do you call this? What would you call this? This is one of the ones that I got from one of the sample places in my trip. I brought it back, and I thought it would make for a very cool, very nice little drinking thingy. So, kanpai everyone. It's so good, guys. It's so good. Seriously. Great way to start. Japan. I think we're all doing very well. And oh, Lord McGray, thank you so much, Lord McGray, for the 5 Ninja Monkey gift memberships. Let me just get some confetti up. Also, by the way, if you are a member, you can show off with some of the different emojis. Maybe you want to show off how many bananas you have left. How many weeks do you have left before your next trip to Japan? I have how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, and I believe that Japan would have 5. Yuzu, yes. It's very nice. It's very refreshing. It smells so different to lemon. It sort of reminds you of lemon, but not quite. So yeah, 10.5 Tokyo bananas, 5 bananas, 2 bananas. Diego's just nearly there. It must have taken a tow truck to drag Nathan off the beach for this. Actually, I've actually been very busy this weekend. Believe it or not, I've learned something about myself, and that's I'm not very good at DIY. I've been painting the ceiling of the bathroom because I had some water damage from my neighbor, and I had patches, and I've had to do 4 layers of paint on the ceiling, so that's what I've been doing, and I've only been at the beach basically in between coats. So the privilege of living in the Mediterranean, right? Basically do a coat of paint, go to the beach for 2 hours or something, 3 hours maybe, and then head back home. Wow, 33 months of the monkey. Thank you so much, dude. 33 months. Thank you so much for being a member, dude. Many great places to visit, indeed. Yuzu sake. Every time somebody says yuzu sake, or every time somebody donates, I'm gonna have to drink some. I'll have to pour a little bit more. A sake cup. I guess, yeah, a sake cup. Yeah, let me just pour a little bit more. It's so delicious. I'm gonna have to limit it because like this is the only bottle that I have. I wish I would have bought more, to be honest, and it's quite a small bottle. It goes in so smoothly. It's scary. Hey, awesome, 12 months. Hey, it's our 1-year anniversary, Nathan. 12-month membership. Thank you so much, Lord McGray. Yay! You put up with me for a year. Wow. I must be doing something right. Anything yuzu is oishi. I totally agree with you. Kampai indeed. Okay, if I do pack or fill out the something, how much headache could this cause me? If I do pack or fill out the something, I don't understand the question. Can't wait to eat Tokyo banana. This is gonna be my next little thing here. 4 bananas to go, Gazumi. Awesome. The cup name is basically called, but I do not drink sake except for traditional New Year Day drink. Okay, that's fine. I mean, I don't drink sake very often either, to be honest. So it's yeah. Painting project, yeah. It's a headache really, but had to get done. Mark, apple wine is a personal favorite for me. Sadly, it's 3 times the price in the UK. It tastes like a very dry English cider if you mix it with soda water. Really? I don't think I've had apple wine as such. Sake cup. This summer seems even more miserable than last year, but Lake Kawaguchi was less hot and humid. Yeah, there's plenty of places that you can escape to in the summer. I escaped to Hokkaido, and I had a fantastic 10 days in Hokkaido in August. It was incredible, to be honest. I think the average temperature was like 24 degrees, and when I went to Wakanai, it was even lower. The evenings were very pleasant. Some of the top temperatures might be like 28, 29 maybe, but for only limited times of the day, you know. So it is nice, Tommy. It's very nice. You have some nice wooden ochoko. Ooh. Going from Osaka to Tokyo and back for a day trip. Wow. Would you rather take a plane or a Shinkansen? Absolutely take the Shinkansen. I mean, from Osaka to Tokyo, there's no point, especially on a day trip. I mean, you're going to waste a lot of time getting to the airport, etc. I think generally, if the train is going to be 4 hours or less, it's a no-brainer. Just get the train. Just get the train. If the train's going to be more than 4 hours, then you can sort of like start calculating whether or not it's cost effective. Because it might take the same amount of time on the plane altogether, maybe, or a little bit less. But it might be more cost effective. You never know. Yeah, Shinkansen all the way, every day. Sorry if I pack wrong or fill out the forms incorrectly. How much hassle could this cause me? Well, if they stop you at customs and you've not declared something, it could actually cause you a very big problem, to be honest. And in terms of your forms, also, you don't want to be overstaying your visa or your entry into Japan, and you don't want to be caught lying or anything like that. Don't forget that any country, not just Japan, their aim is to keep the country safe. And if you are not honest, I'm guessing you're talking about Visit Japan Web. That's what I'm guessing about what you're talking about. If you're not honest, then they might have a reason to suspect you or whatever for not being honest. There's a lot of worry of people overstaying their visas in Japan. It happens, so you got to be careful. However, if it's like a silly mistake, then I don't think you should worry too much about it, But this is the beauty of the Visit Japan web, that you can pretty much check everything very carefully. Hey, popping by to say hi, but it's almost 11 p.m. with an early start, so I won't be around for it all. No problem. Well, thank you for being here. Thank you. Best place to stay if I'm going to F1 in Suzuka. This is the question that's been asked a few times, and it's Suzuka, if you can. Really, where's the best place? I would suggest checking out anywhere that is accessible via local train, maybe. It doesn't have to be Suzuka, but anywhere that's accessible by local train. Checking out specifically the last train of the day, if that makes any sense. I'm gonna give you a little clue as to what I've been doing this partly. Not only painting, not only going to the beach for a little bit, but I have been working on a video, and you can guess what the video is about. And you can guess what the video is about. Probably will be out not next week but the following, because this next weekend I will have a Kyoto less visited guide. I am so excited about that one, so much so that I don't care how it does. It's a great video, if I have to say myself. There are some videos that I put out and I'm like, I put a lot of work into them, and I feel like they're good because I put a lot of work into them. But this next video, I've actually shared it with patrons. Last week actually, you've had a good early preview there. That less visited Kyoto video that's coming out next weekend is pretty special, I have to say. I learned a lot making this video. I visited quite a few different less touristy locations to see whether or not they were actually busy or not, and I discovered some incredible, secret, crazy, amazing gems, including going to Fushimi Castle. Yes, Fushimi Castle. And I got some great shots there. Secret bamboo forests, incredible temples full of no one, some temples that were supposed to be like less crowded that were crowded. It's a real adventure, a great list of places that I visited personally myself, put a lot of time, effort and into visiting these places so that I could put this video together, and I'm very proud of this video. Those of you who are on Patreon, you already have access to it if you're a top tier patron anyway, and yeah, and hopefully, if you've already watched the video, maybe you could give some feedback to the people down there. Recently saw a video of a YouTuber who went to Japan with zero preparation, letting his friends make all the plans. Then his friend got delayed 2 days due to weather. He should have watched me, maybe. On local trains, are there places to store large cases instead of standing with it? In the UK, there is space. In local trains, it depends on the train. Most of the time, the answer is no, especially if it's like a commuter train. The thing is that there's a difference between a local train and a commuter train. So that's that. If it's a local train, perhaps yes. If it's a commuter train, then most likely no, apart from the overhead sort of luggage area. Nathan and crew, simplest Shinkansen booking site recommendation. Um, actually now Klook is always like improving their game. I have to say, like I'm quite impressed because Klook. Let me just put it up here. Klook has just brought out this thing where you can actually amend your booking. So if you make a booking for the Shinkansen on Klook, and you are not given the seats that you're happy with, you can change the date. You can change the seats once. I think it is. I think once. I'm not very sure of all the ins and the outs. I'm looking forward to trying it out myself, but it seems that Kluk have struck some kind of a deal with JR, and they're very similar to the official JR site now. You can actually choose your seats and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. Other than that, the official JR site. And other than that, my top way of booking Shinkansen tickets is actually at the train station. Just going to the train station. And I usually book like 3 or 4 trains, maybe 1 or 2 weeks in advance. Just not because there's any reason that I have to book them 1 week in advance, but because I might as well. If I'm in the train station and I already know my dates, I might as well get four journeys sorted, right? If you're coming in December, there is a traditional concert at Suntory Hill, Beethoven, right? Yes. Um, we shall see. Maybe I shall meet you there, and we can go to the Italia guy together, whatever. Smart EX to get all the past the official site is easy. Yeah, so basically the cloak has become like Smart EX. You get a QR code that you can scan, and off you go. It's yeah, it's impressive actually. Let's see. Yep, we're not gonna have any politics here. To be honest, most of the time, whenever anything political comes up, I just don't mention it. I just ignore it. But Tokyo day trips, loads of Tokyo day trips. I have a video on Tokyo day trips. You can. I think I may even have two, but I think that well, this okay. Okay. I see what you mean. That you think that this might be Tokyo day trips. Mm, maybe not. Maybe not. You'll have to wait and see. You'll have to wait and see. You'll have to wait and see. Um, it's not about Tokyo day trips. How to properly draw mind maps, more or less. I mean, look. To be honest, like this is like my pile of like me trying. This is like my first sort of like attempt. It was on the side. I wasn't very happy with that one. Then, like I drew this, and I was like, I don't like that. Then I drew like all sorts of random things, like rest. You'll have to wait and see. Anyway, I have a pile of papers all around me. I have post-its, like, oh, like this post-it here. All part of my next video. Well, not this week, but the following one. I'm very excited for that one. I found Smart EX a little confusing. Maybe I need another look at it. It can be. It's not too confusing really, but everything near will be booked solid at least 8 months in advance. Stay wherever you can find. Oh, for the F1. Yeah, I think local trains. I mean, I don't know specifically the ins and the outs of Formula One. Maybe something that I should become a little bit more like, like I should study a little bit the situation. But I would probably like apply the same rules that I do when it comes to a Matsuri, like going to the Aomori Nebuta Matsuri. I wasn't able to stay in Aomori, so I had to do my research as to where could I stay that was, within 45 minutes or an hour away, because I didn't want to be like stuck on a train for longer than an hour, that has access to the Matsuri, um, with the latest train back possible, if that makes any sense. So if you follow that rule, try to find a place that you can stay that's within an hour, I would say, realistically, that is on a line that has the latest return time so that you can actually enjoy your day. That's what I would do. Ooh, Jesse, 17 days and counting for me. Yay! Actually, I have a little bit more of this, so come back. It's so fresh. Sake has to be drunk, I feel like, in sips rather than you can't down it. I think Shinkansen booking is inherently awkward. Yeah, it can be, right? I kind of got into a groove with it now after all my bookings. Yeah, just go for wherever works for you, right? Wait, is that the guy who loves horses? I love eating horses. No, I don't really. But for some reason, I always end up eating horse meats at some point in my trip. I don't know why. Hello, how are you doing? Hey, Philippe, thanks so much for the help, by the way, with the question that I sent you. Philippe, is that how many bananas you have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 bananas until your next trip? Any tips for Okinawa? 100% Sergio. My tip for Okinawa is that you book a bus, book a car. Get yourself your international driver's permit and book a car. Depends where you're going to Okinawa, but from my experience, it really did unlock the island for me. It meant that I was free to not have to be waiting for buses. I got to see many more stops than I would have probably seen had I used public transport. I probably would have been fine with public transport, to be honest. I don't think there would have been any problems. However, I do feel that I must have seen a good 35 or 40% more things as a result. Also, less stressful. Maybe the very beginning is stressful if it's the first time traveling, like driving in Japan. But after 45 minutes of driving, it just becomes second nature, and it's very easy to do so, especially in a place like Okinawa. Very easy. During my 10th year anniversary trip to Japan at end of November. Oh, we're gonna miss each other, dude. I booked the same hotel I stayed in Tokyo on my very first night ever. Wow, 10 years. The price has tripled in 10 years. I can imagine. Never heard anyone say, when you're in Tokyo, you've got to check out Ueno Zoo. Well, you'll have to wait and see what the video's about, right? You'll have to wait and see what the video's about. I mean, I have other things. I mean, I don't want to give away too much, but I have Shibuya Sky, and I have Ueno Zoo. I've only had 2 little cups of sake, and I'm already sticking things to my oh boy. Taxi from Narita Airport to city. Stress start. Well, actually, in my next video, in the future video, I talk about taxis a little bit, and I was thinking about this very carefully. And for a family or a group of people, a taxi might not be the worst option. I think that definitely organizing like a airport transport in advance will be the most affordable in terms of like private private escorted sort of like transport to your hotel. Organizing airport transfer for some kind of a company if you're a group of people, if you're a family, it might not be a bad deal because you'll end up, getting all your, if you have a lot of luggage, directly to your hotel. However, I think that the trains are just so easy, the limousine bus is so easy, you don't really need to. But if you needed to, it's not the end of the world, I think. But yeah, $150 taxi isn't the best start to Japan. Hey, just roaming around. I'm doing well, thank you. Wenozu made me a little sad. The enclosures are small, the bears just pace. Yeah, Mark, I went to Asahikawa, I think it's called Asahikawa Zoo. Asahikawa Zoo in Hokkaido, and I spent less time in the zoo than it took me to travel to the zoo because I was just too sad seeing those animals, to be honest. You can down sake, but you shouldn't. Yeah, it's not about downing it. It's about it tastes nicer in little sips. I think it tastes. I'm gonna close this. I'm gonna leave it for another stream. This is what I've been drinking, guys. I've been drinking some yuzu sake, and I bought this in Japan in my last trip in a place near Takayama called Hira Furikawa, which I highly recommend you check out. Don't say chin chin in Japan. Although I say it all the time and Japanese people find it funny. Oh, dangerous festivals, just my kind of thing, Tawada. Your wife downed it? Oh my god. Seriously? The sake is cold. It's very, very cold. It's been in the fridge, so... Remember my first time getting a Shinkansen ticket, getting the actual ticket and the seat reservation as separate slips of paper was a little bit confusing. Yeah, there's a reason why you pay. Well, you pay for three things when you get the Shinkansen. You pay for the route, for the express or whatever, the Shinkansen, and then for the seats. So the idea is, I believe that the idea behind it is a little bit complicated, but I believe that the idea behind it is that you can actually, if you pay for the route, like for example Tokyo to Kyoto, you don't necessarily have to do the whole route on the Shinkansen. You could use part of the route on the Shinkansen, and the ticket will be good for you to use the rest of the network to get to your destination. I believe that's the idea behind it. It gives you more flexibility, although it's a little bit confusing, but yeah. Most Formula One people stay at Nagoya or Osaka and travel daily if you have the 3-day pass. There you go, Frog Lady. Thanks for answering the question. Sake, I once had an awful hangover from drinking it with dinner. It's never again experience. Yeah, I've had plenty of those never again experiences. Hey, I quite like the background music you're using. What is it? I don't know. It's some kind of random music that I got together in a playlist of a subscription thing that I pay for, because I pay for all of my music subscription so that I don't have to worry about copyright. Anyway, I've moved on to the Coke Zero. Kampai, everyone. Sorry, what were the post-its for? The post-its are part of a video that's coming up in about 2 weeks' time. Probably if I finish it this week, I'll be sharing it with Patreon first. I like to post things on Patreon, not only because it's a great way to support patrons and give them something a little bit more worthwhile, but also because I can get some feedback. If there's any obvious mistakes, then you guys can tell me, like, by the way, you misspelled something, or by the way, I couldn't hear what you were saying because the music was too loud or whatever. It gives me the chance to sort of tweak things also through feedback. Can't wait to get back to Japan. It feels like it's been years, but it was only last October, November. Wow. Already October, November. Crazy, yeah? Crazy. I remember meeting you just, what was that, a year ago already, nearly? Wow. Stick on face party games. Maybe I'm coming up with a Japan game. Let's see. I was actually taken to Ueno Zoo to see the pandas. I've seen the pandas in Ueno Zoo also. Yay, Laurie! I hope you use my affiliate link. You don't have to. You don't have to. But if you do, if you are going to use Klook, you might as well use my affiliate link to help the channel out. Coming to Japan for the first time in October, we'll be in Tokyo for 1 week. I'm worried that I will try to squeeze everything I want to see in those 7 days. There are so many things to see. Christina, I mean, that's a real stressful thing to think about, because there are so many things to see. So my suggestion here is that you just put everything in one list of priorities. Like, get together with your friends, get together with your family, whoever you're traveling with, or by yourself if you're on your own, and just get everything that you want to see and put it in an order of priority and go down that list that way, or put it down in an order of priority based on the area that you're going to be visiting in Tokyo, and go down the list that way, because there's no way that you're going to be able to see everything, and this is really the best way to sort of tackle the situation. At least you get to see the top things that you are interested in, rather than have to like rush around crazy trying to fit everything in. You can book a taxi from Narita to Tokyo for £75. The next is £16, so £64 for 4 people, and door to door isn't really that bad. Yeah, I mean, so really pay a little bit more and you get your stuff directly to the hotel. I have 4 hours to go from Narita to Haneda for a connecting flight to Okinawa. Do you think we can make it? That's a difficult one to answer, because it all depends on whether or not you need to get your luggage to begin with, because it might not be 4 hours. You have to disembark, you need to wait for your luggage, get your luggage, and then make your way to the other airport. I mean, and then you'd have to check in your luggage, I'm guessing, right? So in theory, yes, but the question is whether or not, I mean, Japan says that the shuttle from Narita to Haneda takes 1 hour 20, so in theory, yes, but it all depends on how long your luggage, if you need to get your luggage, you know. So say this to Japanese girls to pick them up. Sake is very downable, thus the need for a mini cup. A mini sake cup, guys. Let's get it right. Japan already mentioned. It's a sake cup. This is the place I went to. I have a collection of these now. Warm sake hits harder. Yeah, maybe Ryan. Hi Nathan, how have you been doing? I'm doing fine. I've got a Coke Zero here. I'm chilling out with you guys. Not many questions though, but hey. It's good to hang out. I've got my Tokyo banana defrosting. Probably about 10 minutes left before I eat that one. I think Chiba City Zoo is well designed and beautiful. You can go there using Line 2 monorail from Chiba Station. Thanks for the heads up there, Tawada. Is it true they have a new bullet train that goes 300 miles an hour? I know the maglev one they're working on, that's going to be even faster when that's completely finished. I advise writing your mass dues. There you go. Let me just pop up the air conditioning a little bit. It's a little bit warm. You might hear it, but sorry. I'm only drinking sake these days, smooth and no hangover. Any suggestions for cities to visit south of Tokyo besides Yokohama, Osaka, and Kyoto? I mean, south, how south, really, Erica? I mean, definitely Okayama is a great city to base yourself at Okayama, and then from Okayama, towns, cities, Kurashiki, Onomichi, even Himeji. You want to go even further south, then you get down to Hiroshima, Fukuoka and Hakata are pretty cool. But now we're going into Kyushu. Going down even further, Nagasaki is a pretty epic city, I think. So the list is endless. I mean, and then close-ish, you can check out the Shugoku region of Japan, which is a very beautiful, very underrated, less visited, more rural, more like local train sort of situation, like area, which I love. Nagoya, Nagoya isn't boring. It's kind of a little bit boring, but it isn't at the same time. Definitely off the tourist trail, but with I think if you're gonna go to Ghibli Park, then don't just go to Ghibli Park. Stay a night in Nagoya and actually see what Nagoya has to offer, because the food in Nagoya is pretty good. Yeah, lots Kamakura also. You know, to Enoshima. Yeah, lots of places. Warm honey wine. Ooh, that sounds interesting. That reminds me, this time last year was my first night in Japan. Oh, Japan blues. Very real. They're very real, eh? They're very, very real. You could split the city into east-west. You could. I mean, there's so many ways to do Tokyo, really. Like, and it all depends on when you're staying, where you're staying. Is it true that they finally banned Halloween in Shibuya? Well, they they've done that for the last 2 years, I think. Maybe for the last 3 years. Definitely for the last 2 years, they've banned Halloween in Shibuya. People still turn up. The only thing is that it's harder to have fun because you cannot drink in the street. There's like drinking patrol people that get you to throw away your drinks. They could even fine you. I've seen it in person. I've seen these like drinking police sort of going up to people and telling them to chuck their drinks. Combinis don't sell alcohol after a certain time. Then establishments don't allow people in if they're wearing costumes. You can't like stop and chat in the street. There's police all over the place or guards that get you to keep on moving. It ain't fun. I'm not going to Shibuya. In fact, I don't know why you would want to go to Shibuya. It's a nightmare. There's too many people. I totally understand why they're doing it. This year I'm gonna be keeping away from Shibuya, or if I do go to Shibuya, it won't be like in the peak, you know. We all talk about what we love about Japan, but what you do not like about Japan, Nathan, Sister Bliss UK. Oof. What don't I like about Japan? I don't like when I don't like it when Japanese people are not straight to the point, and there's a lot of that. Like when you're in a store and you, like, I bought some spectacles, some glasses, and I wanted certain frames, and the guy, instead of saying sorry, we cannot make those glasses for those frames, or your prescription for those frames, he just couldn't say no, so he just went for a good like few minutes, like you know, that kind of thing. That is one thing that annoys me a little bit. But hey, I'm used to it now. Things that I don't like about Japan also are rules that don't make sense, rules that literally don't make sense, or things that don't that just don't make sense. Like for example, when I once was in a coffee store, I was a very first customer. It was rural Japan. I'm not talking about like high traffic foot traffic place. I'm talking about somewhere. It was actually, to tell you where it was. It was in oh, Amano Hashidate. It was Amano Hashidate. First thing in the morning, I was staying there. First thing in the morning, went to a coffee store with the first customer. Probably no one around for another hour or something. And I ordered my drink, my coffee. They gave me a little number. I was the only person in the store. And then they called the number, and I couldn't find the token, the paper token thingy that they'd given me. And they refused to give me the coffee. Like, because I didn't have the number. And I was like, I'm the only customer here. Like, look. I'm the only, like, gaijin. Don't you remember? I've just literally not moved from the store. You don't want to give me your coffee because I've lost the number. It's somewhere in my pocket. I don't know where it is. And rules are rules. Eventually, I got the coffee, but it was very frustrating. Those things happen quite a bit. But there's a lot more to love about Japan than not to like about Japan. So it's very difficult to come up with things like that. Another thing that I don't like, I guess, is certain areas have too many adult workers. I'm going to put it that way. And as a solo male traveler traveling through Japan on my own in certain areas, specifically like in Tokyo, it ain't comfortable, man. Like, it ain't comfortable. Like, just leave me alone, right? Traveling to Japan, November, for 21 days with 10 friends. Whoa, what a blast. I want to visit Ryokan just for the food. Is it possible to get a full course meal, and where? I mean, usually for a ryokan meal, you need to stay in a ryokan. So my suggestion is that you just add a ryokan stay with lodging, with foods, and somewhere maybe onseni. Depends on your itinerary. If you can find somewhere along your itinerary that is more like a town or more like rural, and if not, add it. Diego, the only affiliate that I have is with Sakura Mobile. I don't use at the moment any other eSIM. Unfortunately, you can go with whatever you want, but if you did want to support my channel through Sakura Mobile, then you can support Sakura. Not only that, but Sakura is actually a Japan-based, not multinational money-grabbing company like some of these other eSIM companies that are owned by NordVPN and all sorts of things. But I always say, you go with whatever works for you. If you have to grab a soft drink from a convenience, what would it be? For me, a soft drink, it will be definitely the yuzu soda. That's I've been obsessing over, and I can't wait to get some yuzu soda when I get back. I can't wait. Not many questions this time, but hey, it's fun. It's nice to hang out and not have questions also, right? Planning a trip to Japan in January, Fortune Kusatsu Onsen, absolutely. Is it tattoo friendly? I'm not 100% sure. You'd have to just do a little bit of a Google search there, but check. Yeah, go to any onsen really. Sugamo is a perfect center of Tokyo, says Gazumi. Surprise, surprise, Gazumi. Oh boy. The lemon and lime? The lemon and lime drink. Ooh. Kyoto lemonade. Isujingu Yokocho. Number one. Wait a minute, that's got a different name. The Isu Yokocho. What is it called? I went there recently. I have another video that I need to edit from that place. Japanese don't say no. That's happened to me when I'm buying something they don't have. Very true. Well, yes, obviously typhoons, earthquakes, active volcanoes, but those, yeah, obviously. North Korean missiles, of course. Jim, I think you're gonna love Sugamo. It's I can see you vibing there, to be honest. Yokocho, that's it. Okage Yokocho. Actually, Gazumi, I have a walkthrough coming up in the future. I actually did similar to what I did like in Nishiki Market, where I walk through the market, like eating my way through the market. I do something similar, but in that Yokocho in Mie, in Ise, and in my opinion, I agree with you. It's one of the most beautiful streets in Japan, for sure. Um, Very interesting, very beautiful location. I 100% recommend anybody go there. I actually stayed nearby because I went there last year. I felt like I didn't get to explore it properly. I got to it a little bit too late in the day. Things were starting to shut, and I actually added it to my itinerary this specific year so that I could film it. So that's something that you can look forward to also. Younger sumo wrestlers running errands. Nice. I went there. I went there. Actually, have some great footage. Ginzen Onsen Town is also worth it. Absolutely. Christopher Yu Sakura. Like I said, when it comes to these things, there's no problem. People can use whatever they want. I just promote the things that help the channel, and I don't really talk about any of the any of the other products. Hey, coexist. When it comes to Klook, there we go. It's very easy. Basically, www.ninjasaru.com/Klook or www.ninjasaru.com/Sakura, and it will get you to the main affiliate links. Hey John, how are you doing? I'll be there next month. I can't wait. Awesome. Next month. Tuada is giving some good insights today. It's usually the way it works. It's just a percentage, like a small percentage of the initial whatever you paid at the very beginning. That's it. I wouldn't get anything monthly, Yeah, unfortunately, Akihabara is changing slowly. I mean, it's still got its charm. It's still pretty cool, but it is changing, ever so slightly. When they tried to charge my friend Chris and I bills with margarita, we argued for 30 minutes explaining we never ate food here. They misspelled margarita. With a margarita. You'll be in Sapporo next week. Nice. Sapporo is a great city, guys. Seriously. It's such a beautiful, such a nice city. In fact, da da da, Sapporo. you love Japan when your team, the United States, is playing Japan and soccer, and you're rooting for Japan. Wow, indeed. Yeah, upcoming Okage Yokocho in the future. I don't know when, because I have a few other things in the works. Next week, Kyoto guide. Following week, a video that I'm just finishing up now. I also have a video that I haven't edited, which is everything that I spent in one day as a tourist. And I go on a day trip to Otaru from Sapporo, and I keep tabs of everything that I spend, food, drink, everything, like train travel, absolutely everything. So that'll be interesting also. So I do have quite a few projects. Also, I like to bring out like at least one sort of like update video every 3 or 4 weeks, so that will be in the middle also. So yeah, lots of stuff. Everyone hit like, please. Oh, any advice on staying fit? Well, to be honest, you walk so much in Japan that I don't think you'll have any problems staying fit unless you decide to taxi everywhere really. I know that Anytime Fitness, no, Gold's Gym, I know that my friend Vicente, he goes to Gold's Gym and he gets like a 1 week or a 2 week pass, and you can choose up to 2 or 3 gyms that you can share your membership with, if that makes any sense. So the only thing is that he has tattoos, and I mean he's got like his whole body's full of tattoos, and it's a no tattoo gym, so he needs to wear long sleeve tops and he can't use the showers in the gym. Basically, that's the only thing he tells me. Hey, Coexist! Arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you so much. Can we put the confetti? Arigatou gozaimasu, Coexist. Have I taken the bus from Narita to Tokyo? I mean, I've taken it the other way round to Narita. Takes about an hour, a little bit more, an hour and 20 minutes maybe. Right now in Tokyo Station Art Museum is an exhibit of Fujita Leonard. It's really good. Towada needs his own area to put all of his arty suggestions. Top of the list would be Beethoven's concert for Christmas, right? The stairs at the train station are enough for me to exercise. Indeed, especially if you're carrying stuff, right? Actually, funny story. A few funny stories. First of all, when I was walking down my high street here where I live, and these 2 ladies came up to me, and they said, "Hey, we're filming something. Can you just? It's been like our National Day. Can we record you saying Happy National Day?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So Happy National Day, and they filmed me. And then as they were walking away, I overheard one of the ladies say to the other ladies, "You see, I told you he would do it. I've seen him on TikTok," which I found hilarious. You see, I told you he would do it. I've seen him on TikTok. Not that I have much on TikTok, but they'd seen me on TikTok. That was quite kind of funny. Hey, Sani. Decided to choose Nikko as a day trip. Nice. Have you been to Nikko? I have. I've been there like 2 or 3 times. If yes, what do you recommend to see? Definitely the temple complex. It's quite easy once you get there. A can't remember. There's two ways of getting to Nikko. You can get the JR lines, or you can get the other line. Is it the Tobu line? And depending on which one you get, one gets you closer than the other. You can then either walk if the weather's nice, or get a bus to sort of the area with all the temples. Once you're there, it's quite straightforward. Once you're there, it's quite straightforward. And if you have any extra time in Nikko, then you want to maybe check out like the Nikko town second, not first. You want to check out the famous Red Bridge, which is at the entrance of the town. And if you have any extra time, then the waterfall at the lake is very beautiful. That area, I've stayed there actually. I highly recommend anybody who wants a really peaceful retreat away from Tokyo, away from the city. That lake with a waterfall is so peaceful. I stayed there in a ryokan. It was so nice. I want to stay there again. Yeah, I know. No tattoos in the gym is kind of weird. Yeah, I would associate tattoos with the gym also here. The heat also sheds the kilos. This is so true, Gazumi. The yen is like over 200 yen now to the pound. Actually, banana time. Tokyo banana time. Tokyo banana. Not many questions on this stream, but great little interactions. Nice little chats between us. It's like, I feel like I'm breaking bread here. Some banana custard inside. You're talking me out. Oh yeah, and that was the other thing I was gonna say. There's like this, I'm gonna say cleaner in the building where I work, and the cleaner came up to me and she said, "I thought you'd moved to Japan." Yeah, kind of funny. I'm like, no. Godzilla amusement ride? No, I don't know. Sorry. Well, that sounds very cool though. Yeah, just over 200 yen to the pound. I know, right? I mean, I just can't afford. I just can't afford to spend any money on yen right now. I have some leftover money from my summer trip, which I'm going to be using up as spending money for my next trip, if that makes any sense. I need to be, smart. Delicious banana. Froggy. Frog Lady, I have a question for you. Maybe I've asked you this before. Why are you called Frog Lady? Brendan, good question. I went to Japan for the first time on I remember the day, I think it was the 18th of July 2014. 18th of July, around that time, 2014. So yeah, 11 years ago now. Going to 12 years next summer, which is kind of crazy. What did I love about it? I think the very first time I just loved how alien everything was, if that makes any sense. I loved how lost I was in the setting that I was put in. So the very first time I went to Japan, I knew nothing about Japan. So I was a very different person back then. I knew very little about Japan. I didn't even know how to say arigato, I think. I don't think I knew much. Didn't know anything about the language, knew very little about the food, and actually I watched some anime, but that's not the reason why I went. And when I arrived in Japan the very first day or the very first few days, it was this excitement of actually not knowing what was going on, and everything was so different, and that was attractive to me, and it still is. I think the fact that it's so different is what's attractive about Japan. Canadian dollar to the yen is not great, really? Oh no. When are you moving to Japan? You go once a year. Last week, my sister and I found a batch of Pokemon cards belonging to my niece. We found one in decent condition, which is valued at 7,000 euros. Are you kidding me? What? If it was graded 10, it would be 42,000. Oh my god. What are you gonna do? Wow. Hey! Welcome! Kicking with Koji. Welcome to Chat Ninja. You've got access to all sorts of emojis, special emojis you could show off. But welcome. My first day was October the 31st, Halloween 2022. Wow. Wait a minute, you have a collection of real frogs, or do you have a collection of like miniature frogs? Because if you have a collection of real frogs, then I'd be quite impressed. Frogs are cute though, yeah. Yeah, Gazumi, I could totally understand that. Nathan asked you this about once a year, probably. Just gonna sell it, okay. Very cool. I hope that you find the content helpful, not just the live streams, but the videos that I put together. How much Japanese did you know on your very first visit, and how was that for you in terms of your experience? I knew nothing. I knew nothing. Seriously, like, if I knew anything, it was like sumimasen. Maybe as the trip went on, maybe I learned 2 or 3 words. No more than 5 words, I would say. Back in 2014, there was a lot less English also in signs, I'd say. Now things are much better, much improved, especially in the streets, especially in the stations. And I remember that the very first time I went to Japan in 2014, the Yamanote line didn't even... I don't even remember if it had English, like fully English. They started converting things to make it like Olympic like friendly around that time, so there were a lot of changes going on. But how was it from my experience? Like I said, I'm the kind of person that I like different things. I like to be put in the middle of things that make me uncomfortable, but in a good way. And I feel that when I was in Japan for the very first time, I didn't feel uncomfortable, but I felt lost in a good way, you know, like not lost as in I didn't know where I was, but lost as in I didn't know what I was doing. And I kind of like to be a fish out of water every now and then, and that's what Japan was like for my first trip. Definitely a fish out of water. My first 2 trips to Japan, I stayed with a friend, and it was very much a being led around experience. I probably wasn't until my trip 4 that I really was comfortable exploring and doing my own thing. Yeah, cool. Have you been to Cyprus? I haven't. I wish I would have gone to Cyprus, but I haven't yet. Do you think the Hokuriku Arch Pass is worth it, and you can go back and forth on the line, or do you have to go straight ahead? Tracy, it can be very, very worth it depending on your itinerary. You can go back and forth, use the pass as much as you want back and forth within the time period, which I believe is 7 days, I believe. So you could travel from Tokyo to Osaka and vice versa, but via Kanazawa. But just be aware that if you do spend 7 days traveling along, which I recommend that you do it that way, because you get to visit some awesome locations that are less populated or less touristy, including Fukui, which is pretty cool, Kanazawa, which is pretty epic, and travel to Osaka or Kyoto, then probably you'd have to end up paying for a normal train ticket back to Tokyo, unless you get a multi ticket, like airline ticket where you land in Tokyo and leave from Osaka or vice versa. Then it will be ideal. It will be the ideal 7-day sort of like JR pass. Also, do your calculations, but you might find that it's not worth it either. It just depends on how many stops you're going to be making. Real frogs are in the garden, but the rest are all sizes from miniature to large. Cool. The last video about kanji was great. There's a few little hiccups that I made, but overall 99% I'm very happy. Thank you, just roaming around. I could not have done that without Oriental Pearl. Come on, there's no way I could have done that without Oriental Pearl. But I did put my own spin on it. It is my style of video. It's very different to an Oriental Pearl video, obviously, but she helped me a lot, and I'm very happy with the way that the video turned out, and I'm very happy with the fact that it's helping people and it's had a really good reception. And I actually put together like not a PDF, but on my website there is a section where I break down all the kanji. I heard somebody must burgers at my job, and I said to myself, another Japan traveler. Good things you aren't the toad lady. Unless it was like the toad like of Mario, because the toad of Mario is kind of cute. Yeah, I think we've learned we are such good friends that we sort of like naturally bounce off each other, which is great. So I don't know how, like, my channel is about helping tourists on their travels to Japan. So it's a fine line between, like, I'm not gonna be a language channel because I know very little Japanese, not very little, but I'm not proficient enough to make it a Japan like language channel, but yeah, I mean, it's all about helping tourists, so those like language videos come under the umbrella of helping tourists prepare for Japan. But there is a fine line. If you make too many videos too often, then people might expect you to just do language stuff. Already from that video, I was getting many comments where people were saying, can you do this, can you do that, can you explain this, can you explain that, maybe you should make a video about this, all language based. And that's not what the content that I make. So anything that's related to planning Japan, helping tourists, get the most out of the trip, I'll continue doing. Takarasu review. My Osaka relatives want to go this year. That sounds very interesting. Hey Lani, how you doing? Where am I from? I'm from Gibraltar. Gibraltar is a British overseas territory in the very south of the Iberian Peninsula, basically in between Africa and Europe, the tip of Europe. That's where I'm from. British passport, very unique, Mediterranean. I'm a little bit curious, my stream was not in the list. I have no idea why. No idea. Oh, Shikoku. I loved Kochi. When it came to Shikoku, I loved Kochi a lot. I think that Kochi Castle could potentially be one of my favorite castles in Japan. It's silly. It's a tiny little castle on the top of a little like hill, but it's charming, and it's still in its original state, and it's got the most bizarre like old museum where they explain all the whaling that happens in Kochi, which was very interesting. But I really like the Kochi castle quite a bit, so that's one of the things that I liked from Shikoku. Other than that, I also partook in a matsuri where I carried the omikochi. Maybe you've seen that video from the past, and that's one of my top experiences in Japan that happened in Shikoku. Yeah, Shikoku is a great place. It's definitely a little bit harder to get around. It's not as easy to get around as Kyushu. I felt like Kyushu was relatively easy to get to places, although maybe a little bit more spread out than I expected it to be. Shikoku is even more rural, I would say. So it's going to be very exciting. Maybe add a wee disclaimer for people linking her to language U to Japan travel tips and insight. There's no need really, to be honest. I mean, it's not about a disclaimer as such, but rather what content you put out. You know, you can have content that lives on YouTube that isn't your niche necessarily. It can live on its own, but when somebody comes to your channel, they'll very quickly hopefully realize what the channel's about, you know, when they start seeing, you know, tips and Japan and itineraries. Your Japanese has improved a lot. Your summer video highlighted you using Japanese often. Yeah, I mean, I do feel that I am a little bit not dishonest, but I do feel that sometimes I come across as if I'm more fluent than what I am, because I just repeat the same things over and over and over and over and over again. But I must admit that I have been making more of an effort to learn things and put them into action and use them. And I guess that every time that I go, even if I learn 3, 4, 5, 10 phrases in one trip, you know, the following trip I learn another 10 phrases, the following trip another 10 phrases, so it all adds up, right? What's it like living here? It's like a Mediterranean sort of place, very beachy. Everything revolves around the ocean, seafood, kind of beautiful, good weather most of the time. It's nice. Yep, it's a castle that's actually a castle and not a museum. And actually the museum bit is like inside the traditional castle, which is what I like about it. Today I looked for hotels to stay next year, and they often had quite bad reviews. Then I took a look at the hotels in Kyoto I stayed, and it also had bad reviews about things. Interesting. Lani, where are you looking, really? I mean, to be honest, look at the majority reviews and look at when they were, I would say, because if there's some like 1-star reviews but 99% of them are 4 or 5-star reviews, then I wouldn't worry too much, you know. Yep, Phil, Kochi is awesome. my one of my favorite places from that area. Your Japanese friends like it too? Renting a car for 8 days to explore Shikoku. I think next time I do Shikoku, I will rent a car also. There's lots of places that I wanted to go to that I didn't go to because public transport was just too difficult in Shikoku, which I didn't find that was an issue really in Kyushu. In Kyushu, I felt that I could pretty much get everywhere with public transport. The train network was a little bit more extensive, but in Shikoku, it just felt like you probably can do like the main areas, but anything in the middle, you need to sort of like drive. Any advice for purchasing petrol in Japan? I'm renting a car to pick up my annual whiskey run to Yoichi. Actually, when I rented my car last year, that was one of my biggest anxieties was like getting petrol in the car. I was so stressed. And I just realized, in the same way that Japanese people are generally very, very helpful to you in the street, when you ask a question, it's exactly the same thing when you're at the petrol pump. I didn't know what I was doing, and I called somebody over, and they came over and they basically did it for me and I paid them. So my advice is do look around, see what others are doing, and if you can't figure it out, then ask somebody to help you out. And basically, that's what happens in Japan. In Japan, normally service people help you, and even people in the streets. If you have to ask a question, how many? Right, question. How many of you have ever been? And if you have like an emoji, then choose your favorite emoji. And if you don't have, if you're not part of the emoji club, you could choose just a random emoji. But how many of you have ever traveled in Japan and had somebody go out of their way to help you, either getting them for to them leading you somewhere and you following them, or doing something that's completely out of the way? Because that's basically how you got to think of like a petrol station. They'll go out of the way, they'll help you. Yay, Diego, put it in your favorites. Yeah, bad reviews, it's always a little bit weird with the bad reviews. You got to be careful. Is May a good time to come? Planning to come in 2026? You could go beginning of May is okay. Actually, May is okay generally. I don't know what the train line is called, but it's a Kyushu. The train drives around the coastline. Very beautiful. Yeah, Kyushu is usually yeah. A good review about how close a hotel is to a train station. Another complaining about a 10-minute walk. Well, like what? Hey, hope and win. Thank you. Thanks for joining in. Also, get petrol from a full service station, like Nathan says. There's credit card at pumps to deal with. I could not get out of Shinjuku station. Somebody walked me out of the exit M Rider. Yeah. Jim Ross, every time almost. I can imagine. Every time I've been to Japan, I have always had a local go out of the way to help me. You see? Basically, think of it that way. And they're doing the job, so the workers will help you. So don't worry. Don't worry. Yeah, just try to avoid Golden Week, and if you end up during Golden Week, then just plan it accordingly. It's not the end of the world. An old lady helping me use laundrette. She spoke zero English but pointed to machines and coins and stuff. She was so sweet. Oh, that sounds so nice. Sounds like a very nice experience. The Japanese are so kind to visually impaired travelers. Wow, that's so nice. When people see that you struggle with a train schedule or to find your way, there is someone who is ready to help. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to sort of like show here. That a lot of our worries inherently we're worried because they're new, and we haven't experienced them. But we just have to remember that most of the time there's going to be someone there to help us. And if it's specifically like a service, like at a restaurant, a hotel, a petrol station, a station, there's going to be workers there, and it's kind of their job to make sure that everything runs smoothly. So they'll help you also, apart from the public, who will also many times go out of the way to help you too. So on an other trip, an old woman could tell I was heading to Narita Airport, so she came over to let me know that no, I was on the train to Narita, not the airport. So she made sure I switched to the right train. That's so nice. That is really nice, actually. Any advice on gifts to bring from the US? I heard Trader Joe's shopping bags are popular. Trader Joe's shopping bags are very popular now. I'm not very sure. I mean, it depends who the gift is for, really, to be honest. When it comes to gifting, and I mentioned it many times, I'm a firm believer in taking some gifts with you. But I think that sometimes people misunderstand what I mean, what I say when I say, take gifts with you. I don't mean like give gifts to any random person that you meet, like sitting next to you on the train or whatever. What I mean is, if you are specifically going to be doing some kind of an activity, like a tour, a walking tour, a cooking class, something very specific, then perhaps it's nice to give a gift instead of a tip, in those situations. If you're going to be staying in a ryokan, I always have some sort of like candy from my country in my luggage, and sometimes these ryokans are run by families. You might see that they have some kids, and you can leave some candy. Or my total favorite one, which is like really cheap gift, which everyone loves, and that is just simply a postcard. You take a postcard with you, and you write a little message at the back, and you give them the postcard. That works very, very well. When it comes to postcards, it's also a great way for you to start conversations with people. That's the exceptions to the rule. I think that postcards are okay to sort of give to people if you're sitting in an izakaya and you want to like chat to somebody, and somebody says, where are you from, and then you bring out the postcard and say, hey, this is where I'm from, here, keep it, and you make a friend that way. So yeah. Elderly people seem to be more helpful, even with more limited English skills. I've had plenty of young people also be very helpful too, so I think generally Japan is a relatively helpful country. When in doubt, ask someone on the platform. Indeed, which train? Nothing worse than more stressful than being on the wrong train. Yeah, I mean, also just one thing to remember, and that is that the people that are on the platform are usually doing something, a job. So just don't ask them when a train is approaching and they're like waving the train. I've seen that happen. I've seen tourists sort of like try to ask a question to a conductor or somebody on the platform when they're sort of like doing the safety checks or whatever. Just wait a little bit and ask, with plenty of time. Which is another reason why you should actually arrive at your train station at the platform with a little bit of time, just to make sure that you're sure what you're doing, especially at the beginning. We had an elderly man point us to the subway entry with elevators when we switched hotels in Tokyo. I think he just understood from us looking around and checking phones that we were searching for it. Yes. I mean, my most wild story is, and I said it maybe last week or a few weeks ago, that I got sick. I had an ear infection, and I went to the pharmacist, and the pharmacist actually drove me to the doctor, waited for me to be examined, and drove me back to the pharmacy, which is kind of, it was actually in Ikebukuro. I couldn't remember exactly where it was, but I found somewhere, I put it out somewhere, I actually found the medical card that was given to me, and it was Ikebukuro Medical Clinic or something like that I ended up going to. Yeah, you gotta respect trains. can be dangerous. You know, walking the platform can actually be dangerous, especially with so many people. You really need to respect the space, you know. Today is Respect for the Elderly Day. It's a very important day. I think the elderly are very important people in society. Um, we totally underestimate what the elderly have done for us previously, you know. Taking the train gets less stressful with experience. The most recent time I got on the wrong train, I simply looked for the next station I recognized, got off there and switched trains. Yeah, I mean, the only time that doesn't really work is if you're in a Shinkansen train. If you're in a Shinkansen, you could be like hundreds of kilometers away before you can change stations. But yeah, overall, like local trains and commuter trains, that kind of thing, it's quite easy. If you make a mistake, just get off and get, you know, resettle. Just remember that when you do need to sort of figure out you know, if you're a little bit lost and you need to figure out where you're going, just move to the side, move to a pillar. Don't do it in the middle of the station. Don't do it in the middle of the platform. Move to one side, you know. Don't block anyone. When I was in Takayama, a nice lady wanted to give me an umbrella. It was raining. I had no hat. Really? Wow. That's pretty cool. Did you take it? Respect to the elderly day. I like that. Yeah, you're right. I think we should do it for every country. It's a bit harder to get on the wrong Shinkansen, but not impossible. Well, it depends. I think if you have a Japan Rail Pass, it's easier. It's quite easy to get on the wrong Shinkansen because you just have a Japan Rail Pass, you know. Especially if you're not gonna be sitting on the reserved seats. I once helped the old Japanese lady up the stairs with her heavy bags. I don't know why, but some Japanese people don't help the elderly. Sometimes some Japanese girls were astonished that I helped her. Yeah, so an interesting one. I think that people just don't want to bring attention to people, and people don't want attention brought to themselves. And also, there's a point where it's like, if I help that person, am I saying that they're old? What if they get offended because I've helped them? Because then they think that I think that they're old, but really they are old. So it's one of those ones, right? Google is helpful. Google is a win-win with Google always. By the way, for those of you who are part of my patrons, I uploaded another hotel room tour from Okayama. Was it Okayama? Okayama, I think. The Via Inn Hotel. Well, guys, I'm gonna start closing things up. But if anybody has any last questions or comments, now is your chance. Yeah, helping Japanese people, sometimes they are surprised. I'll give you an example of something. Maybe it helps you get into the psyche of, you know, the Japanese brain. I don't know, but I was once on the monorail on the way into Tokyo. I just literally got off a flight, and there was a Japanese lady. It's not funny. There was a Japanese lady with her bag, and she was trying to put the bag in the luggage compartment area of the monorail whilst the monorail was moving, and for some, you know, the monorail sort of jerked. She lost her balance, she fell, she hit her head really hard, like super hard, on the floor, on the window, whatever it was. She hit. It was actually quite worrying how hard that I went to help her, and she was like, "No, I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay." And then somebody sort of said, "Come, take my seat," and she was like, "No, no, 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 no." And then at the next station, she got out. She got her bag and she got out. And I'm pretty sure that that was not her station, because it was literally like one station away from the airport. I'm pretty sure that that wasn't her station. I'm pretty sure that it was an embarrassment thing. She didn't want the attention on her, and she left. And she probably would get, or maybe she went to get medical attention. I don't know, but oh yeah, I have a second channel, everyone. It's called Happy Gaijin. Check it out. I'd like to have a vlog out this Wednesday, followed by a stream. We'll see. I usually visit during New Year's. Hey, no problem. By the way, everyone, I am going to spend about 10 minutes or 15 minutes on the Discord voice channel. If anybody wants to join us in Discord, then let me see if I can get the link to the Discord. Voice thingy. I'm trying to figure out. I did it. Copy link. I think I can do it. So yeah, I'm gonna stop the stream here, but I'll hop onto the Discord for a few minutes. We can have a little bit of chat. If you have any questions, direct questions, you have any you want help with ideas, bouncing ideas off me, this is the time to do it. It's something that I started doing last week. I enjoyed it quite a bit, and it was lots of fun, and I felt that it really helped people. So head over to the Discord, and I'll see you there for about 10 minutes or so. Take care, everyone. Stay positive. Thanks everyone for your support, and see you in the next one. Bye.